To work with Cognito, we have to scroll down and under Security and Compliance, select the Cognito service. We can either choose to manage user pools or manage identity pools. We're going to set up a user pool, so let's select Manage User Pools. We don't have any pools in this account. Let's start the process. The pool name, perhaps it's for a particular application. Maybe it's for the finance application. We'll name it Finance. Do I want the default settings or do I want to have custom settings? Let's step through all of the settings. How do you want your users to be able to access your application? Is it a username, or can they, once they create a username, sign in with a verified email address or a phone number? Or do I wish to use an email or phone number specifically? So I get to choose. Let's choose email and signing in with verified email address and verified phone number. Again, this is for interfacing with a custom application that you're creating. This is the pool that will, quote unquote, identify the users that can use this application. If we scroll down, we can then choose what attributes can be used for this actual pool. Let's select address, birth date, and name. If I want to add a custom attribute, I could select Add Custom Attribute and then decide, is it a specific string or numerical value? Next step, we can choose our password strength. We can also allow users to sign themselves up, or do you only want administrators to carry out this task? Obviously, if it was a SaaS app across the internet, you'd want the users to be able to sign themselves up. We can also define the number of days where the temporary password will expire. We'll leave it at 7 and leave the defaults. We could also choose to enable multi-factor authentication, which could be pretty handy if you're hosting a corporate-based application and accessing it across the internet. If the user forgets their password, how do you want them to be able to recover their account? We're probably quite used to this, getting an email to reset our account password. We have a number of different options. Note I can also verify specific attributes before I send them the password reset information. If I want to send text messages, I'm going to actually have to define a role, an IAM role, to allow Cognito to be able to send those messages because it's accessing a service. If I'm communicating with the end user, I can also customize my email address from the simple email service. Note, I can also add tags for this particular user pool. I'll leave that alone, but like most Amazon services, I can add tags for identification purposes. I can also choose, do I want to remember the user's device that they were using when they connected to the application? I next have to add in an app client that will be given a unique ID and a secret key to access this user pool. Remember, if clients are accessing this user pool, then they're starting the process of authentication, so we have to have security under the hood, much like we had with identity and access management authentication. Clicking Add an App Client will add in Finance for the finance application, and you can see where we can add additional security information as far as client secrets and other options for automation using Lambda. Note that Lambda is an automation tool that you can use in the background with a lot of different services at AWS. If I want to have very custom workflows with Lambda triggers, I can actually customize those workflows for now, as far as what's happening when they sign up, when they're authorized, maybe a custom message. So Lambda can be very handy stepping in the middle of your workflow for custom communication. Finally, at the end, we can review all the options that we've defined. We can look at all the warnings and considerations and create our pool. Now, once we've got our pool defined, we can go through and take a look at the different options that we may want to change from our default settings. Notice at the bottom, we can also do integration with identity providers if we wanted to, say, have users specifically sign in using their Facebook credentials and then access the application linked to this user pool. There's a number of different options available for the identity providers.